Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this interview anywhere else but within our private community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, then we'd definitely love to have you come join us. That community, we recently passed, I think, 6,200 members, so we're close to 6,300 members. So if you're not already a part of the community and you're a coach, consultant, or service provider, definitely come check us out. Now, today, I want to introduce you to one of the members of the community, Teresa Oshman. Welcome, Teresa.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So tell us, Teresa, what is it that you do?
I am a relationship marketing consultant, and I work with entrepreneurs, sales professionals, and business leaders to help them activate, acquire, and achieve success using a unique technology.
hmm Awesome. So you said a relationship marketing consultant.
Correct.
How do you define that?
Sure. So that's a really great question. It's all about building relationships and how we go about doing that. How are we nurturing our current client or customer base? How are we cutting through the digital clutter? How are we staying top of mind? So when someone thinks about your service, they're not going to their phone to Google, I'm looking for XYZ landscaping company. They actually go and you're in their contact list and they dial your number.
hmm Okay, so ultimately come from a place where prospects, people who would need your services, you actually do have a relationship with you to the point where when they need your services, they could just connect right to you versus trying to go search for some business, right?
Exactly.
hmm
Exactly.
Awesome. Love that. Now the next question becomes, I realize because since I've been doing this show, I've talked to a lot of different individuals, and I realize everyone
Sure.
has kind of like a specialty in terms of what they specialize in. So why did you decide on a relationship?
Well, I love people,
Mhm.
and my past career was in higher education sales and marketing, and I built a book of business that exceeded a little over $900,000 annually in sales, and I did that by building relationships and simply by sending a thank you card after a meeting, a thank you card for someone joining us in the company as far as a new client. Um, and then it built to sending birthday cards and holiday cards. And I built those relationships over time, nurtured those, and basically spent 80% of my time building those relationships. And 20% of the time was marketing, but I never put the two together. And when that company that I worked for almost 2 decades went out of business, that's when I jumped into the relationship marketing consultant role, so to speak, because the light bulb went off. Gosh, I'm building somebody else's business using all these tools and techniques. Heck, I can do it for myself. So, and I could show other people how to do it.
Awesome. That is so powerful. So you said on your journey, you just realized, oh, the way you spent the time was 80%, you said, in relationship building and 20% in the marketing on the sales side of things.
Correct.
So why do you believe that that kind of formula, that breakdown 80-20, 80% relationship, 20% marketing or marketing and sales is so powerful?
It's powerful because you're not always asking for something. You're giving, 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 and then you ask for something. You're giving, 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 and then you ask for something. So the giving can be, thank you so much for your business. Happy holidays. Happy birthday. Oh, by the way, it's spring, and I'm going to use a landscaper as an example because that's just what's happening in my world right now. But in spring, the landscaper can say, hey, um, it's time to it's time to provide some landscaping. Do you need any, if you need any weeds eradicated or ideas for your landscaping, let me know what that would look like. And here's a 15% coupon. The next communication can be, oh, by the way, I thought about you when I saw this article and I'm sending it to you. That's it. It had nothing to do with that company providing a service. It was, oh, I thought about you because I read this. And then you never marry the two. So if you and I were doing business and I wanted to say thank you. I would send you a thank you card that says, thank you so much for doing business with me. You could choose to spend your time or your money with anyone else, but you chose me and I'm grateful. Now, however, if I did the same message and said, oh, by the way, I am so grateful for all your referrals and look forward to more, or whatever that may look like, we've now voided the thank you because I'm asking you for something. So we keep them very separate.
Hmm. Interesting. So you say, in essence, now is it really that simple as far as just sending someone a thank you note or a happy birthday? Is it really that simple?
It is, because people aren't getting that anymore. People are being inundated. There is a time and a place for email communication, for text message communication, um, but people are being inundated. So when you can set yourself apart and stay top of mind without consistently marketing to somebody, when they're getting something in the mail that's not a bill or an advertisement, it really sets you apart from your competition.
Hmm. Okay. So, and you're saying you find that in today's day and age, people are just being marketed to so much that every time someone opens, it's almost like people have become jaded, right? Skeptical, which is every time they receive something, they're just expecting the, hey, just pitch me, right?
Yeah,
One of
exactly.
those, right?
Exactly, and that's correct. Um, so it becomes, we're in a no touch world, but yet we still need to touch. And how can we do that? Stay top of mind, be effective in our business, make it as easy as possible, and just to let people know that we care. You're appreciated. We're celebrating you. If your clients are on social media and you're connected to them there, if they have a life celebration, whether it's graduation, whether it's a new baby, a marriage, sadly, if there's a death in the family, if you can reach out with just sending a heartfelt card that says, I'm so sorry to hear about the passing of whomever. I'm holding you and yours in my prayers. Congratulations on the new baby. Here's to a lot of sleepless nights, but they're totally worth it. So, just staying top of mind that way, building that relationship, nurturing those relationships. And it's so important in this day and age when we can go on Google or wherever search engine you use, and people can find you and know about you in a heartbeat.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's so powerful as well too, because when I think back on my own journey as well too, it's always the conversations, the best conversations, the best friends I really have, are individuals we start off just exchange a few messages, not even no long form type of 16 paragraphs or 5 paragraphs. It's typically just one sentence. Hey, here's this, here's that, here's this and that, and all of a sudden we build up this kind of like a friendship to where when you need some advice or when you need something, you just know who to go to, right?
Exactly, exactly. It's about the heartfelt message. So, cards create conversation, conversation leads to opportunities, and opportunities lead to business.
Hmm.
And, we always hear the three things. People do business with people they know, like, and trust, right? So there's three things. But I always say there's a 3.5. And the point five is they do business with people they remember fondly. So let me ask you, how are you being remembered?
Hmm. Powerful stuff, Teresa. So the question now becomes, how do you manage those relationships then? Because it seems like, let's say, for someone who's like maybe building maybe an email list where there's thousands of people, or they have a social media following where there's so many people, how do you keep track of it
Absolutely.
all?
You want to have a system where we're at the crossroads of which is where high tech meets high touch. That's the intersection. So you want to find a system, whether you use the company I'm with or anybody else, you want to find a system that can be automated, almost like you set it and forget about it. It's like on autopilot, yet it's still very personal. It's still customized to the recipient. So when you can find a system that does that, and a system that reminds you of birthdays, that reminds you of anniversaries. And when I say anniversaries, I'm not necessarily, people think, oh, wedding anniversary, right? Maybe that's what comes to mind immediately. But think about it in the land of realtors, right? So a realtor, for them, an anniversary could be the closing date of a house of somebody, a purchaser from them. So that could be happy 1 year anniversary on your new home, you know,
Hmm.
anything like that. So if you can automate that, so the first card that you would send would be very personal, might have the people's picture on it, and I'll go to the realtor. Um, the couple holding the sold sign in front of their home, that's pretty powerful, right?
Right.
The realtor posted on social media, but there it's gone in an instant, right?
Hmm.
You put it on that front of that card, has a heartfelt message on the inside. That card is going on someone's refrigerator or going on the mantle. They're not going to get rid of a picture of themselves in front of their new home, right?
Right.
And then the rest of the cards, as we talked about, would be the happy birthday, maybe the Thanksgiving card, the holiday card, or that marketing card could be a Valentine's Day card. We love referrals and look and are grateful for any that you send our way. So that could be kind of your marketing card. Um, and that could actually be put on autopilot, and it should be. So you send that heartfelt card, the other 4 or 5, you send it on an automated system, and the systems take care of itself.
Hmm. Awesome. So what company are you with that kind of, what is your process for getting that automated?
Sure. The company I'm with is Send Out Cards, and we have been around for about 17 years. I've been with the company a little over 6, and one can be a customer or one can be, as we are called, affiliates. And I actually started to use the system when I was still in higher education sales and marketing. And I was looking for a way because, again, if you think about 900,000 plus dollars in commission or in sales annually, and the average sale was about ten to $15,000, you can do the math really quick. I was writing a lot of thank you notes. I was looking for a system where I could hop online, create that thank you card, hit send, and off it goes, right?
Hmm.
And still be able to put my branding on the back, etc. And I joined the company as an affiliate because I realized that the amount of cards and gifts I would be sending, I could actually turn a business expense into a profit center. And the company has helped me to do that. And then I transitioned fully on to being an affiliate, building my business and send out cards, helping other people to build their business, whether it's a send out cards business or whatever business they may be in.
Hmm. Awesome. Love it. Love it. Now, next question becomes, what about the online? Is most of the cards, is it mostly offline cards? I mean, actual physical cards, or is it online as well too?
No, it's not. It's physical cards. It's a card that arrives in a real mailbox and not an inbox.
Hmm.
So people go and they go to their mailbox and they pull out their mail, and there's there's bills and advertisements and whatever else is coming in the mail. And there's this envelope, this beautiful white envelope, almost looks like a wedding invitation, printed. Their name is printed right on there. It's not a label. The return address is printed, and hey, there's even an actual stamp on it.
Hmm.
Everything is mailed first class. What do you think that person is going to do? They see your name at the top, as the return address, and they're like, "Wow, okay," and that everything else gets put down, and they open that card first.
Hmm. Love it. Love it. So, let me see. There's a question that came to mind. So, in terms of when it comes to actual the touch points, the actual those cards and stuff, how many do you typically recommend sending out? Is it like is like a yearly, monthly? What do you typically recommend?
I what I'd like to do is talk to a business and see what they're, or whoever it is, and see what they're doing currently, what their business is all about, and then we talk about sending at least 4 to 5 throughout the year, and what that 4 to 5 would look like, and how far apart they would be spaced. And in our system, you can actually tell it when to send those cards out. So if you send the first one today, then from that day, maybe the next one will be 3 weeks. The one after that could be a month, whatever that may look like. So it can be spaced out and automated that way.
Hmm. And you said in terms of when you do get to send out a card, you said it should be separated, right? So you don't want to like kind of mix the thank yous with the marketing, right? You don't want to say, hey, thank you so much. By the way, here's thank you so much. By the way, thank you so much. By the way, you want to
Yeah,
keep it separate,
exactly. And
right?
happy birthday. So, I mean, think about it this way. How many times have you gone, like, at least I've experienced this in several people I've talked to. You go to a restaurant and you're really enjoying your meal, and they're going, hey, when's your birthday? And you fill out this card, and they'll say, the month of your birthday, we're going to send you something. So they send you a birthday card, right? Which is great. But in the birthday card, it says, happy birthday, Mary. Come into the restaurant during the month of your birthday, and your second entree is half price. I'm like, okay, so how's that happy birthday when I have to come in and buy something?
Hmm.
Just send me a happy birthday card. Happy birthday. May all your birthday wishes come true. Your friends at XYZ restaurant.
Hmm.
And then further down, it could be that marketing card, whatever that may look like.
Hmm. Awesome. Love that. Love that. So next question becomes, in terms of what type of businesses do you find this type of approach works best for? Are there specific ones that they work best for?
Realtors do very well with it. Anyone that has a like a remodeling company. So for example, they take before and after pictures. So a contractor, a roofing contractor, car sales professionals, uh, oh my gosh, payroll companies, trying to go down the whole list of who I've got on mine, and I dog breeders, where dogs go for camp. Camp Bow Wow is huge on this one. Just a wide range of businesses. And it's just those that really want to stay top of mind, set themselves apart from their competition, and really build on their current client base
Hmm.
and monetize that in a way that's not salesy.
Hmm. Awesome. And you said in terms of so if someone to do this kind of use this approach, the first thing is to kind of look at the business, see what they're offering, how their probably the services are kind of like structured and stuff like that, and then you come up with a game plan as far as well, how often should you mail, what should you mail, and all those different things.
Exactly. So we literally sit down and talk about, this is my business and this is how I run it currently. This is the type of materials I'm sending out. And we talk about, well, all right, that's great. How's that working for you? And then we talk about a proposed game plan on how to move forward and what that would look like, and take it from there. There's no cookie cutter. Not everybody's the same. People do things differently. People have different mindsets. And we talk about how that system, or the send out card system, would work for them. And sometimes it doesn't. It's not a good fit. And that's really okay too. So it just really depends on the business, and we customize a solution for them.
Hmm. Love it, love it. So I guess let's go back into let's ask a few personal questions. Not too personal, but let's get to
Okay.
know a bit about Teresa. So what would you say, based on where you are today, the success that you have created for yourself in your business? What's one skill you'd say that you've kind of mastered or you practically act on that's kind of gotten you to where you are today?
The one skill is working harder on myself than I work on my business.
Hmm. And how do you define that? What's the definition of that?
By definition of that is always continue to learn, never stop learning, whether that's personal development or professional development. Never ever stop learning. Don't ever stop working on yourself, because when you can't pour into others and without filling your cup, so to speak. And so I'm a big proponent of education, of continuing education, whether it's a Dale Carnegie, whether it's a Zig Ziglar, whether it's Tony Robbins, whoever you resonate with, And that is really important, just to keep on building and growing. And when you work harder on yourself than you do on your business explodes.
Hmm. Awesome. Now, what about story? So, based on where you are today, what story? Are there any stories you could share with us from your past that you would say, okay, this is kind of what kind of got me on this path I am today?
You know, in 2001, a gentleman approached me. I was working as a paralegal, a litigation paralegal, and he was a friend of the attorney that I was working for. And he said he was growing his higher education business, was looking for a sales professional to take his business into Canada. And I'm Canadian, so now I hold dual citizenship. And when I asked him, what is that all about? We talked, and I said, I can do this. And he said, you've got no sales experience. I said, I know, but I can really do this because I can. I just know I can. And he was the one that instilled in me the love of personal and professional development. He said, T, I can roll out the red carpet, but you've got to walk. And I was provided with the tools and resources. Now, I didn't have to take advantage of them, but I was so thirsty to learn and to prove that I can be successful in sales that I took advantage of everything that was offered to me. As a result, I was able to travel across the globe in that sales position and meet a lot of wonderful people. I love to people watch, so I never followed through. I should have. I was going to start a blog called The Diary of a Traveling Saleswoman. That's what it was. So lots of stories there, lots of stories in being with send out cards and people reaching out and saying, yours is the only birthday card I received this year.
Hmm.
Or, oh my gosh, the gourmet brownies you sent. Wow, those were delicious. And they arrived at the perfect time. I was having a really bad day. So when you can uplift, empower, and inspire people, there's no greater joy.
Hmm. Awesome, love that. And next question becomes, what about breakthroughs, right? So I know as entrepreneurs, as we go on our journey, every so often we have just a big breakthrough, something that just really changes the game for us. And those I find those typically happen whether it's monthly, weekly, and stuff like that. So have you had any breakthroughs recently?
One of my biggest breakthroughs was walking on fire.
Walking the
And
fire.
walking on fire. And I don't know, I'm sure you're familiar with Tony Robbins, and he does a fire walk.
Fun.
And I did the fire walk. And that was, the metaphor is if you can walk through fire, you can get through anything. And that was my big aha moment was that, wow, that's right. I walked on 8 feet of burning coals, and I lived to tell about it. And there was nothing, my feet weren't burnt, I wasn't scorched, and that was a massive aha moment for me. Like, wow, it really is possible.
Hmm. Yeah, that is so true, right? There's so many limitations, so many things. Like before we actually have the experience of doing something we believe is impossible, once we get that under our belt, right? It's like the whole world now. It's like we come from a whole different frame of mind because now it's almost like nothing is impossible, right?
That's right, exactly. And it was a time in my life when I was going through a divorce. I was newly single. I had just bought my home as a single woman. I was like, oh my gosh, what have you done? you know and I had been married 23, 24 years the first time around, and having gone out of that, and then this opportunity to connect with Tony and to walk that fire walk, that just that was one of my biggest aha moments.
Hmm. I love it, love it. Awesome. So we're running short on time here, Teresa,
Oh,
but
sure.
if someone wanted to reach out, what's the best way for them to connect?
I To connect with me would be best to give me a quick call. As you can tell, I'm a personal kind of touch person. And so my direct number is area code 585-748-4719. Would you like me to repeat that?
Oh, sure, sure.
Absolutely. Again, it's 585-748-4719.
Awesome. Love that. Love that. And what about do you have any free resources? Anything you you give away?
Absolutely. I've got this great book. It's called, I didn't write it, so no credit to me. It's called The Power of Human Connection. It's written by Cody Bateman, who is the founder of Send Out Cards. And the foreword is written by Dr. Ivan Meisner, who is the founder of BNI, which is Business Network International, which has been around since 1985. So I would love to be able to share that book with anybody who would like to have a copy. And just give me a call or text me. I gave you my cell number. Feel free to text message me. That's fine too. Full disclosure, I will need your mailing address if you would like that book, simply because it is paperback and I do mail it from my corporate office.
Hmm. Love it, love it. Thank you. Well, hey, Teresa, thank you so much for stopping by. Really, really appreciate it. Do you have any final thoughts before we end here?
I am grateful to have had this opportunity. Thank you so much. Look forward to staying in touch and connecting with like-minded people on our platform. And again, thank you so much. Grateful to have had the opportunity.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, and we'll be in touch.